On this episode, we are back with our 14th installment of questions from our Main Street Magic community on Facebook. Today is December 9th, 2022. This is episode 520 of the Main Street Magic podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I am your host, Jeremy Stein, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey, guys.
Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic. If you've not done so already, head out to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join. Then if you go ahead and hit subscribe, you're going to get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday, all the way throughout the holiday season even. And Rhonda, how did we secure our must-have dining reservations for our Christmas trip this year?
With mouse dining, of course.
Of course.
Why would you not use it?
Why would you not use mouse dining? It's extremely frustrating when you're trying to get that must-have restaurant 60 days out from your arrival. And we know you don't always get what you want, but it's really cool because mouse dining will remove all that frustration of booking by alerting you when they spot availability for your desired restaurant, date, meal, and time. This even includes things like the Candlelight Processional, Phantasmic packages, and so much more. Check out msmfriends.com and use this free service. Then if you're getting ready to plan that next Disney or Universal vacation, looking to go on a cruise or pretty much travel anywhere else in the world, head to mainstmagictravel.com and fill out a form for a free quote. Our travel services are completely free to you. We are back with another Main Street Magic community Facebook group Q&A. It's been a minute.
Yeah,
Is that still what the kids say? It's been a minute, even when it's not a minute. That actually means much longer.
Yeah, I think it's a hot minute.
A hot minute. It's been a very hot minute. It's been since like September. So what we like to do every once in a while is go ahead and reach out to our Main Street Magic community on Facebook. Again, you can join if you've not done so already. And we get questions from our listeners, from the people that follow the group. And then we like to sit back and answer them. And it can be all things Disney or Universal or podcasting or pretty much whatever you want. Mm-hmm. And as always, we got a plethora of questions.
Oh.
So we'll break this up into two parts. And this will be number 14. We'll do a number 15 probably a week from now because we are going on a trip the day this comes out. What are we doing? What's up with this weekend?
Oh, yeah. We are headed to Disney, which it just doesn't seem like we are headed to Disney tomorrow.
No, I don't feel ready, even though we packed.
Yes, and we're going to see Blue October. We're staying at Disney Springs, the Wyndham Garden view. So that'll be the motel instead of the hotel.
I'm excited to check it out.
Yeah, me too. And then, so we'll go over to Disney Springs and hang out, and who knows what we'll do and get into trouble there. And then we'll see Blue October. And then we get to sleep in on Saturday and enjoy the morning / again, who knows, walk over to Disney Springs. And then we'll end up at Epcot for lunch at Garden Grill, which is our first time ever.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm too.
I really am. With our friend April, her wonderful daughter. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. And then eventually we are going to make it to our Candlelight Processional with Josh Gad.
I'm so excited.
And we still have to get in line.
Yes, I do. And we're still going to get about an hour ahead, I think.
Yep.
But I'm so super excited for Josh Gad. I feel awful that we are cheating on Neil Patrick Harris. He is there a week after. Could not make both of them work. So had to make a decision. We've seen NPH twice. He's fabulous. Hope to catch him again next year. But how do you pass up the one and only Josh Gad?
Well, at least this year we're not suiting up and dressing up because it is going to be very warm.
But have you seen what I'm wearing?
We are going to bound as Anna and Olaf.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna be all right.
I'm not. This is not warm. I do not have a warm weather outfit. Let's say that much. I'm hoping by the time 8:30 rolls around that it is much cooler. We got to see what time we're gonna get back over there. We may not head back over till the sun sets because I'm head to toe. So, but super excited to share that with y'all as well. Mm-hmm. So you can find all that, of course, the live streams in the private Facebook group, Patreon coming up here, wonderlandcrew.com if you want to check out our Patreon group. Let's get into the questions.
Okay.
First one from Olivia. Have you and Rhonda ever thought about taking a vacation to Disney without turning it into some kind of work, or thought about going on vacation somewhere that isn't Disney? You want to start that one off? Because this is something that we struggle very much with.
Yeah.
We were actually on the Passholder Lounge with Justin Monorail not long ago, if you have not checked that out. And that was the whole topic of this, was balancing business and pleasure. So what are your thoughts on having a complete dedicated vacation to Disney without doing some kind of work, or just going somewhere else?
So here's the hard part, Olivia. I can't shut my brain off to if we haven't done that, or I'll go, what do we need to do? But I am going to say, with all that being said, for Christmas, we are going to enjoy our family more. And if we need to work, of course we will. And we, of course, will at times, but that is not going to be the focus.
Yeah.
I am going to focus on my family and this be our vacation. And I know there's another question later that I'll follow up like with this part. But
well, I'll say
yes, I've thought about going somewhere else. I want to get back to the Biltmore.
Yeah.
So bad.
Well, before we get into going somewhere else, because we are next month,
okay.
I think what we would have to do is we would have to plan a Disney trip, and like you just said, is go, all right, we're going to stay at a place that we've stayed at tons of times. Okay, we stay at Coronado, for example.
Right.
We're going to eat at places we've eaten at a lot. So we're going to eat at Three Bridges. We're going to go back to de Gusto.
Right.
We're going to go to Bar Riva. We're going to go to all the places we frequent. We're going to... we're going to go during a time where there isn't maybe a festival going on, or there, like find that Diet Epcot week or so. Like that's where I could see where I think we could actually relax and just go, you know what? We don't have to share. And I still wouldn't be able to do it.
I just start to say kind of because when we sit down at Three Bridges and they're like, we have a brand new this. Or
they're always having a brand new something.
Then we feel that we are going to work, of course, for y'all and do that. So, I mean, even if it's something that little, we still do. So it is very hard to turn our brains off from that. But it's good. I think that's good.
Well, I think the best time to do this year, actually, or in 2023 would be our anniversary. So currently our plans are to go the weekend. So we've spent since our 10th anniversary, we're coming up on 17, correct?
I think so.
We're coming up on our 17th anniversary in 2023, April 22nd. Mark that on your calendar if you want to wish us happy anniversary then. But anyway, we're going to the weekend before, we're going down to Disney because
we are.
Well, little birdie told me that Blue October is going to be there for Garden Rocks.
Seriously?
And we will go see them. But with our stay on January 6th at the Drury Inn through Hotels.com, we finally get that 10th punch on our Hotels.com card, which gets us a free night. So my thought is to trade that free night in for April 22nd, which is a Saturday this year for our anniversary. And we go down for that morning. We come home Sunday, and that is one that we shut it off. And we just say, you know what? We're just going to enjoy. We're not going to live stream anything. We're not going to take photos. We're not going to do this and that. Let's just do it. So that might be the opportunity to do so, because we'd be back-to-back trips. Like, hey, we just did all this stuff last weekend. There was a bunch of cool new stuff. This weekend, we're all about that.
Okay.
As far as going on vacation somewhere else that isn't Disney, and this is going to lead into our next question as well. We actually are next month for Martin Luther King weekend, Pam's birthday weekend. We're going up to the mountains of North Carolina. I couldn't tell you what town or city because I don't know.
Oh, I have no idea. I have to ask my sister-in-law. My sister-in-law
we'll talk about this.
Is doing everything. So we did this a couple of years ago, and this was phenomenal. We were praying for snow. This was the kids' first time. We rented a car because our cars are, well, Sylvia, of course, everybody knows, I think, that my 4Runner is a 2001. So she is 21 years old. And
only two-wheel drive.
And I want to keep the miles off of her. And again, she's 21 years old. Jeremy's car is a Toyota Camry. So it's smaller.
I'm not driving it up a mountain.
And right. So y'all know Verbo and all this stuff. Well, I think apparently they do now cars. And we found this Toyota 2016 4x4 red 4Runner. I need to sit down away from obviously on air talking about it to Jeremy, because it's less than $300. It's like $250 something that I'm like, okay, I need to get that now. Like, how do I do that? Like,
And what was it? What was it called?
T-U
Turo. Yeah.
Turo.
So it's called Turo, Turo, and it is basically Verbo, but for cars. So what it appears is that it is
super cool.
Yeah, like you could rent your car out basically
Yep.
the same way you might rent your home out.
Yep.
And our friends Ashley and Karen told us about it, and we were
Yes.
like, oh, because car rentals were looking nuts.
Yeah, so the one that I found was an actual 4Runner. This was on, I can't remember if it was Kayak or whatever I was looking up. And I think all in, I was looking at $500.
Yeah.
And I sent it to Jeremy, and
It
I'm
was like
oh
3
my
nights.
goodness.
This isn't a long time. This isn't like a week-long vacation either.
Well, I did actually like put in ordering it or whatever, getting it on the 12th and returning it on the 17th because I work Wednesday.
Yeah.
So you're looking almost a week.
Oh, okay. It's still a lot of money.
Yeah, it was. And then you were like, well, we could probably find a better deal. And when Ashley and Karen told us about this, and this 2016 red 4Runner 4x4, less than $300, I'm like, okay,
Let's get it. We're going to do it.
We're going to do it. I got to figure out like what we're going to.
Yeah. Well, I
we
think
have to pay for it.
This will lead into the next question from Emily, and these were actually back-to-back questions. It worked out so perfectly. She said, you'd said this year is the first year spending Christmas in Disney. If your girls enjoy being away from home, would you make this as a regular thing and possibly let them pick a trip? If so, where do you think they would want to go, or would you go somewhere with snow and weather you don't have in Florida? And
Absolutely,
yeah,
Emily.
We
Absolutely.
think 100% this is going to become a new yearly tradition
Well, we'll see,
that we
'cause
travel for Christmas.
Lacey was already like talking about wanting to be home again and stuff. But yeah, I mean, if they enjoy it, if this was a great time, absolutely. I mean, Jeremy and I've already talked about Great Wolf Lodge. I know, Asheville's not too far away.
Pigeon Forge,
Great Smoky Mountains.
I talked Dollywood.
He did, and it was super funny because that's when he looked at me and was like, "Do you not want to do parks and do?" And I'm kind of like, "Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe we alternate.
Maybe a cabin and like a nice homey cabin up in like the Smoky Mountains, and then we can go to Cade's Cove."
I'm a little afraid that you're going to get stolen by the guy whose parents run the cabin, and they're finally going to retire, and they're going to leave it to him. And he's kind of hesitant about getting it, but he decides
like a Hallmark movie.
And now you're the big city girl that's come in.
I am not a big city
I would like
girl.
to think usually though that the boyfriends and those or the husbands or boyfriends or whatever fiancés are usually not the greatest of people. I would hope that I don't fit that bill, and that you wouldn't trade me for the burly bearded Tyler Haynes style, but I kind of wouldn't blame you if you did.
Hayes,
I might not blame you if you did. But no, that's definitely on our radar. And it was funny because I ended up saying to Lacey, I was like, do you think this is something we want to do? And again, we can't say right now.
No.
This could be the best Christmas ever. I know it's not going to be I'm not going to say worst Christmas ever, but we could wake up Christmas morning and go, you know what? This just didn't feel right. We had a great time, but we'd rather be home.
Yep.
If we decide to travel, I said to Lacey, I was like, well, what about like Great Wolf Lodge, or, what about Pigeon Forge or one of these places? She goes, I just would assume do Disney or Universal, which I thought was funny.
Oh, I bet that made you happy.
Made me super happy. So we'll see, but I could see trading it off. I could see next year saying, all right, let's go to a cabin somewhere in the mountains where we just chill. And then the year after we do Universal, the year after we go back to a cabin, the year after we do a Dollywood. Like maybe we flip flop them, but all that really depends on how this year goes.
Yep.
So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on to Dawn. Has a couple questions for us. First, she said, can you recommend mics that are $100 or less? I want to get us some mics, but I need something that won't pick up every background noise because neither of us has a dedicated soundproof space. And Dawn is one of the co-hosts of Main and Magic podcast. So if you've not checked them out, go ahead and check them out and hit that subscribe button. I will recommend exactly what we use. They are $99. So they are $100 or less. And they are the Shure SM58 microphones. These are the go-to. They have been for decades in the live music industry.
Oh.
Mostly, unless you have like a Brendan Urie who needs his microphone made of 24 karat gold, you are going to find SM58s on stages. They're very, very popular for podcasting because they are high quality professional microphones. They block out a lot of background noise.
Brendan Urie really does that.
I don't think it's actually made like it's plated in gold.
I love
his
him.
microphone, but I think so is Elvis Duran, who does the morning show.
Oh.
So I would take one. I'd get mine in like silver.
I just started to say
something.
mine would be diamonds.
What's
Or
great?
fake ones.
But if I have a silver one,
Swarovski or however you say that
that
word.
would actually be cool. Yeah, if I have a silver one and a werewolf shows up, it doubles. I can stab him with it. So pretty much it's a win. It's a win-win.
Okay.
But yeah, they are absolutely outstanding mics. You can get some on eBay, even if they're used. I will say these things also will last forever. Ours are going. These were passed down to me from my brother when we started the Hardwood Hustle podcast close to a decade ago.
Wow.
They're still going strong. We do not have to replace them. You can spend a lot of money on other mics. I will say this, the Blue Yeti tends to be the go-to mic for podcasting. I would not recommend it. I would save it's almost the same cost. Go ahead and get yourself some of these. They're outstanding. Get the little hat that goes on it, the little foam cover and all. And you can even take these if you need to. We go through a digital mixer, but you can get a XLR to USB adapter, and you can plug these straight into your laptop, your computer through USB or whatever you need. So
sound like you're talking a different
I know.
language.
So I'm sorry that everybody else is already tuned out.
Yeah.
But Dawn knows what I'm talking about. Her second question, though, and I'll let you start with this one, Rhonda. What was your experience with the Magic Band Plus as far as how long the battery life lasted? Do you need to be charging those in park?
No, I would say to that last part, do we need to charge it in the park? No, but I would make sure that is definitely charged. Like right now I have 2 on my charger, and I'm going to probably leave them there until I leave tomorrow morning, or I might take them off and then re-put them back on. So when I go tomorrow morning, that yes, they are fully charged. And then just charge them overnight. And I've not found, and I love to tap it during the day. I love to walk past and let it vibrate. I love everything about it. So I'm using mine to my most capable, or most, whatever the word is.
Yeah, I mean, we're using them. Now we're not going, rope drop to park close, but we have yet to have an issue.
Yeah.
And with many people, I do see that you don't, as long as you charge them overnight. And what I would recommend is go ahead and get yourself a little, you're not going to hurt for places to plug in USB and regular plugins at any of the Disney resorts or really anywhere off property. But to make your life a little simple, to make sure you remember everything and get everything plugged in at night and grab it in the morning, what Rhonda uses is a little USB hub. So you plug in that USB hub, you have 4 or 5 ports. One of them gets your phone, one of them gets your smartwatch, one of them gets your Magic Band, and you still got one left over if you've got AirPods or something like that. Go ahead and plug all those in every night. I don't see any issue. If you're already plugging in your phone, you're already plugging in a watch, what is it just to plug in a Magic Band as well?
Oh, absolutely. And make sure you do.
Yeah. And whatever one you're using the next day, I think it's perfect. Our friend Austin, Christina's son, just was messaging me the other day because they're going in a few weeks.
Aw.
And he was like, what are your honest opinions on Magic Band Plus? And I know we've shared this. I was like, look, for maybe $10 more, I think it's well worth it. And it's a lot of fun.
It is.
And it's still often cheaper than the limited edition Magic Band 2s.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't the end of the Magic Band Plus capabilities.
Oh, no.
More, I believe, is going to come. More interactivity.
They just put the holiday lights on it.
Where now you can do a holiday theme. So I think they're well worth it. Just go ahead and make sure it's whatever one you're wearing the next day. Have that plugged in every night. And again, even the 4 we just got for our Christmas trip, which we got discounted. Go ahead and take advantage of that $10 discount and pre-order them with your on-property stay. Even that, all 4 each came with the charger. So we've gotten a charger with every single one.
Oh, we have so many chargers.
You could literally buy a USB 4 to 5 port hub and only use it for Magic Bands each night.
True.
And the hubs are cheap. I mean, you're probably getting $10, $15 on Amazon. So go ahead and do that. Next question comes from Wendy. She says, what, in your opinion, is the best way to combine a Universal and Disney trip for someone that lives a good distance away? Breakdown of park days. Is a split stay between Universal and Disney worth the hassle of transferring? And how many break days would you include? This actually would be a really good question for our buddy John Self. And, maybe we go ahead and tag him when we put this and he can give his thoughts and opinions as well. I would do a split stay between the 2 parks. I would say if you have upwards of 10 days, 7 to 10 days to do this trip, I would allow at least 4. I'd allow 5 days at Disney. Here's what I would do. Let me just try and break this down a little bit.
I'm like, what? So
if this is your ability, here's what I would do for Disney. I would arrive on a Sunday. I would do a park potentially with Hopper on Monday, a park potentially with Hopper on Tuesday.
You would end at Universal.
I'll tell you why in a minute.
Oh, not me. But okay, go ahead.
Okay. I would take a break day on Wednesday. Right? I would do a park, possible Hopper day on Thursday, again on Friday. I would do my transfer day on Saturday. I would book at a Legacy hotel and transfer over there for Universal so that you have Express Pass included. Not only on the day you check in, the day you check out. Your transfer day is also a rest day because what are we at now? Saturday is your transfer day. Sunday, you're doing a park day at Universal and you're going to get the 2-park hopper and you have Express Pass included. You're staying Sunday night and you're doing another park day on Monday and you've got Express Pass all day and then you're leaving on Tuesday is what I would recommend doing. The reason I'm saying Universal second.
Yeah, why?
Is because you actually have a chance now to relax and take your face out of your phone and utilize Express Pass, which means you show up and that's it. For me, that's going to be the less stressful of the 2 trips because when you're at Disney during that time, you're face deep in your phone. You're potentially booking Genie Plus, individual lightning lanes. You're getting up at 7 a.m. To me, it's the same as doing a Disney cruise after you do Disney parks. If you're combining those 2 together as a split, you don't do the cruise first and then go to Disney parks. You want to end your vacation on a more relaxing note where the rides at Universal may be more intense. The using, I guess, the planning and the getting your way through the parks is much, much less stressful. You have eliminated all transportation between the 2 parks as you want to hop. Can't do that at Disney. You're staying at a Legacy hotel. Let's just say it's Hard Rock, Royal Pacific. You're walking. Portofino, you're going to hop on a boat. I just think it's a much more relaxing way to end your long vacation. You've also worked in 2 total break days. You can enjoy the pool. You can rest, relax. And on those Universal days, if you have Express Pass built in, short of rope dropping Hagrid's one of the mornings, you can sleep in a little bit. You can't at Disney if you're looking at doing Genie Plus and individual lightning lanes. Your thoughts, Rhonda?
Well, first of all, Wendy, I would have a question for you. And what do you like better, Universal or Disney? And if you like Disney like I do, I would say end with Disney.
That's very fair.
Because we are doing that for Christmas. We are headed down to Universal on the 22nd on Thursday. We're going to be there all day. And then we're moving over to Disney and ending with Disney. And I don't know. I mean, yes, Jeremy's got great points and everything. But yeah, if you're still doing a 7-day, yeah, like, I don't know. I'd still say all his tips of like staying at a Legacy where then you don't have to worry about anything and you can have an Express Pass and you can do, but I don't know. Like and maybe because I go a lot, I do feel more relaxed at Disney.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking of the distance away and I'm guessing not getting to go very often. We do have a this will be a relaxing Disney weekend because we're not utilizing Genie Plus and individual lightning lanes and all. Talk to me after Christmas and let's see how we feel because that isn't going to be per se relaxed because we're going to try and utilize those things.
Right.
So that's where I think it'll be interesting. I mean, I definitely would recommend the Legacy Hotel, whether you put that Universal trip on the front end or the back end. We have even said if you're at just say you find a great deal at Disney, you're renting DVC or you're staying at an All-Star and you are going to be there for 7-8 nights and you still want to do Universal, sometimes it's still worth booking at a Legacy hotel, even if you don't stay the night there and you go back to Disney because you get that full day of quote unquote check-in and full day of checkout Express Pass. All you'd have to do is first go to that Legacy hotel, physically basically check in, get your key card, it excludes Express Pass, and then you could technically go sleep at your Disney hotel that night. Yeah, so that's still very much an option. But then you're driving back and forth, and I don't recommend driving back and forth. I don't recommend staying at Universal and going to Disney. No. I don't recommend staying at Disney and going Universal. but we're also people that don't enjoy being in cars and getting on highways. So some people don't care. All right, let's move on to Steve. And he says, here's one. Have you ever thought of having an impromptu podcast recording while on vacation? For example, say at the end of the night at Magic Kingdom or wherever, you both sit with another guest or two and record an episode. Of course, the guest will have to be someone you know, either through the community or Patreon, and the topic will need to be something all can talk about and weigh in on. Steve, I love this idea. We're all about, conversation and conversating and just talking Disney and not having notes or an agenda.
Right.
I could see this, as you mentioned, Patreon, something that could come in 2023 and be exclusive to our Patreon group at wonderlandcrew.com, where, one of the things we're trying to figure out is to have a more portable podcasting solution that has a good quality and that we can have guests. Mm-hmm. I would love to have an opportunity where we are in the parks and we go, oh, look, so-and-so's in the parks as well. Hit them up. Hey, do you mind sitting down for 30 minutes and we just talk Disney? But right now we don't have a really good quality way without bringing our full system, which isn't really allowed in the parks.
Right.
So yes, that is something that I would certainly entertain, and I will start to think about ways that we could accomplish it. We certainly could, set up our full system in a room or somewhere nearby. Spoiler alert, we're doing something on January 6th that's going to be super duper cool. And we are looking at ways to record all of that with multiple people. We'll see how that goes. But yes, Steve, I love the idea, and I will make a note of that for sure. All right. Danielle asks, updated top 5 Disney bucket list items. I'm listening to old episodes and just listened to your bucket list from episode 401.
Wow.
Over 100 episodes ago. I don't even know if I would remember what our bucket lists were. Anything new to add or anything you've crossed off of that list?
Well, we've crossed the cruise off the list.
Okay, that's right. That was one of them.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm not sure if we crossed another stay off the list. I feel like we did.
I feel like we possibly have too.
Yeah.
I mean, again, you're talking over 100 episodes ago is over a year ago.
Right. So, and we always think like, all right, where haven't we stayed? So we're trying to do that. We still need to stay at Riviera and Grand Flow.
Yep.
But yeah. With that being said, we definitely Disneyland's up there and we want to get there. Yeah, I don't know.
Overseas parks are definitely up there.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, I think this weekend's going to be a bucket list item, and seeing Josh Gad in the Candlelight Processional. I mean, that's one of those, if you had said, Jeremy, give me your top Candlelight Processional, people you like to see at Candlelight Processional. MPH is up there. We've seen him. John Stamos is at the top of my list. Josh Gad is way, way up there, and we're going to get to see him. Chris Evans would be way, way up. Any of the Chris's would be up there. Pratt, Hemsworth, give me any of those. I mean, you're getting into names that are, well, I almost want to say you're getting into names that are too big. In my opinion, I think Josh Gad is the biggest current name they've ever got.
Really? I mean, you have Whoopi Goldberg they just had.
I know that, but I'm talking about in the current moment and what Josh Gad is doing and has done with Frozen and Olaf and his career. I think he's still at the top of his game. Not to say that folks like Whoopi and Neil Patrick Harris and those aren't, but I think he's a huge
I hope Neil doesn't listen to this. He's going to be upset.
Oh, he knows I love him. I'm trying to think of additional bucket list items. I mean, still staying at every Disney resort is huge. As Rhonda said, Disneyland, overseas parks are definitely up there. There's still a lot of dining I think we would like to accomplish. Especially as it comes to still Victoria and Albert, still haven't done that. Now waiting for a double invite from both Iger and Diamaro. It's not happening yet.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, this Christmas is a bucket list item.
It is because I'll never forget, I said when
we were ready to not be home for Christmas.
That's a good.
We would go to Disney. So that's what we did without saying too much more.
Yep.
Halloween.
So that was
at Disney is actually a bucket list item for me. It's one of the only major holidays we have not spent
Oh,
at
yeah.
Disney.
And I'd love to do that. Like Jeremy said, he wants to do that. And then go to the Halloween party that night.
Mm-hmm.
And then, unfortunately, wake up and go that morning and see how they literally just turn to Christmas.
Yeah. I would love
So
to see
cool.
that. That's definitely up there. Ellen asks, as Disney adds more cruise ships to their fleet, if you could design your ultimate Disney cruise, the ship, the theme, the destinations, the itinerary, what would it be?
Oh, my goodness.
Wow, that is a really good one.
That's a great question.
Not having been on any other cruises than the Wish, I love, and again, not knowing much about the other ones, the Wish had everything I love, being Marvel, Frozen,
Right. I was just going to say.
the Bayou and Tiana,
Yep.
Tangled.
I just started to say I would have all that, but I would have Stitch, like a Stitch room or something.
I would love to see some of that. Some sort of luau type atmosphere, and with Lilo and Stitch would be really cool. Is maybe instead of Pirate Night, it is a Lilo and Stitch Hawaiian roller coaster themed style night.
Yes.
I'm trying to think what else I would really like to be represented. Obviously, Marvel's still going to be way up there. I would like to see some of the inclusion of, some different things like Big Hero 6. And
I would like the Little Mermaid of
a lot of Little Mermaid stuff, Beauty and the Beast. To have almost a Be Our Guest style restaurant without copying Be Our Guest on board, or, that type of thing. As far as destinations, and again, I don't know all the destinations that they go, especially when you get to like Adventures by Disney and things like that.
Right.
And you start to involve all these different options. I'd love to be able to go from here to British Virgin Islands. I've been there in the past and I really, really loved them. Okay. I think areas like that would be cool. I'd like to see, I don't know. I'm not really sure what else. I mean, I wish there was a way to involve, and this would almost be that, $120,000 or whatever it was Adventures by Disney thing, where if there was a way to involve cruises where parks were like close enough that you could visit multiple parks all via cruise, would be so cool. It's just, there's no way geographically to do it without it being months long, I feel like. I want the focus to continue to be on entertainment. Okay, there's one. Let's just say Broadway style show. What's something you would love to see? Is that something you could see being Lilo and Stitch brought to life Broadway style?
Well, The Little Mermaid I absolutely loved. We missed Aladdin. That would have been amazing. Yeah.
Rogers the musical.
Yeah,
I would 100% take that. That would be a really cool Broadway show. Going back to the bucket list thing, even we do want to cross other Disney ships. Off of our list. Yep. And maybe that's the Treasure in 2024. Maybe that is our next one. But I really want to check out some, the Dream and the Magic and the Fantasy and some of these that have been around, because I've heard such wonderful things, and I've heard things from people that love those cruises and they didn't exactly love the Wish.
Right. That's crazy.
For us, it was easy to love the Wish because it was our first Disney cruise. We had nothing to compare it to. Right. So I will say, I think the Wish did an incredible job of encompassing everything. I feel like the Wish is the answer to this question for me. Okay. Like I would have sat down and been like, well, I really want something Marvel themed. And they'd have been like, how about like a restaurant? I'd be like, oh, that would be amazing. Right. Also, love Frozen. Can we get that involved? Would you like another restaurant? I would. Tangled, Rapunzel. How about we do like a salon for your wife? Okay, sign me up. What kind of show would you like? She loves The Little Mermaid. You got it. Like they really encompassed everything. You're going to have the Bayou and Tiana have a bar on the premises. Yeah, that was right there, dead
amazing
center
for you.
Right off the atrium, I absolutely loved it. So I think the Wish almost answered this question, as weird as it is. But those are some of the additional things I think. Christy asked, do you have experience with character dining for lunch or dinners? And if so, are there any character dining spots you'd recommend for a couple of adults? We tend to not do breakfast as my boyfriend has an egg allergy. The one thing I will throw out there, as I'm sure you might be aware, is that Disney is absolutely incredible with allergies.
Mm-hmm. And I would say do breakfast and go to Topolino's.
I would want, and that's where I was headed with that, because I think you are missing out on not only one of the best meals, one of the best breakfasts, and one of the best character kind of meet and greets, locations, interactions ever. Another one, I don't believe it's back yet, would be Flynn and Rapunzel over at Trattoria Al Forno. That is also a breakfast one. Ohana is outstanding. Ohana. So I know that wasn't your question, but if you go in with the mindset of, listen, my boyfriend has an egg allergy, they will do everything they can to accommodate. Yep. And I can tell you, especially at Topolino's, you don't have to have an egg even near your table, and you're going to still have the ability to have one of the best meals and the best breakfast you've ever had. And they can certainly substitute any sort of non-dairy, non-egg product if they need to make whatever dish you want.
Right.
Outside of that, although we haven't done it, I've heard nothing but wonderful, wonderful things about Tusker House.
Yeah, we need to do that.
Put that on the bucket list. I would really like to do Tusker House.
And what's the one with the princesses, Norway? Or
Askershoes?
Yep.
Very, very good as well. That would be one you could do lunch, dinner. You could look at the Chef Mickey's. I'll be honest, the characters are back. They weren't the first time we went. I didn't hate Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I think, normally complain about it.
Oh.
And while we still only have one princess, and she's waving from afar a bit, Cinderella's royal table is unbelievable.
Is she still, though?
None of the other princesses have come back. I'm not 100% sure if she's greeting at tables or not. It's now been a year and a half since we went. But still, one of the best meals I think we've had on property. So I don't just throw breakfast to the side.
I agree.
Just in your notes when you book it, you can say egg allergy. You can ask ahead of time. You can call. You can also, as soon as you show up, say, here's the deal, and here's how serious it is, or here's the situation, and they will bend over backwards. They will bring the chef out to the table. They will ask, well, is that an egg allergy where it can't be prepared next to them, or it can't be whatever.
It's amazing.
And I don't want you to miss out on Topolino's Terrace.
Mm-hmm.
And characters aside, the dinner is absolutely outstanding as well.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I wish that they would bring characters to a dinner, but I don't know if they're afraid it'll take away from a little bit of the fanciness of it. Maybe. But I would take those same breakfast characters at dinner, and we'd book that every single time. Peyton asks, if you could live inside of a Disney park, which park and where inside that park? Imagine you were able to have like a Waltz apartment type deal, or like the suite in the castle. I would build a suite inside of the Tree of Life.
Ooh, that's a good one. I was thinking Magic Kingdom, and I just want to hang out there and be in the
and you're going to stay in the you're going to live in the Swiss Family Robinson. Okay.
And Cinderella's.
Okay.
And I would have like, I don't know, I feel like something with the tiki room, like somewhere like, I don't know. I feel like they could go up with it, or I don't know. I feel like they could do something with that. So
nighttime falls. You're living inside of the park, right? And what are you doing at night? Are you riding rides? Are you sneaking in and getting a late night snack?
I don't
like
know.
What types of
I'm
things
just
do you think you're
walking around
doing?
and just
enjoying
everything, and walking down Main Street and looking up and like, I know that's like a facade, and I hate that it is, but I wish like. There's my friends up there in that room. My friends up there in that room. I don't know.
Yeah,
super
I think
cool.
of like, I know how much we love staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge in a Savannah view and waking up and having your coffee or your breakfast on the balcony.
That is amazing.
I just think of waking up and you're looking out this porthole or window from the Tree of Life, and the macaws are flying by, and then you get your coffee and you walk down, and before the park opens and everybody's there early in the morning, you just get to walk Animal Kingdom. And I don't know, man, maybe you take a Kilimanjaro Safari Jeep for a drive, you would want a lid on that mug. I can tell you that much, and be able to close that thing because it's going to shoot everywhere. But yeah, I think that would be super duper cool. Once everything's complete, and now I'm just going to name every park. I mean, how cool would it be to have a room? Well, I got to go to when I did the D23 thing, the Sip and Savor or whatever it was. We went to the little VIP lounge area they have inside Spaceship Earth. If that was converted to like an apartment, that would be super cool.
Yeah.
I do not want to live in Tower of Terror.
I just started to say.
You'd have to put me up in
in Hollywood?
You'd have to put me up in the hat of
There's no
Man's
hat.
Chinese Theater, basically.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
there's
Like
no
that.
hat.
I think you could put me up in there, or bring back the Sorcerer's hat, Mickey Sorcerer's hat, and build an apartment in there.
Okay.
Or the Earful Tower, even. That might be too high up for me.
Mm-hmm.
That Tree of Life, that's a really good answer.
That is a good answer. Good job.
I like that one a lot.
Good job.
All right, we're going to move on to Taylor. He says, what is your experience with Disney Good Neighbor hotels, and why or why not would you choose one over a Disney resort? Why? Price.
Yeah, Good Neighbor, you're talking like
Yeah, I mean, you're talking, we'll put
Disney
everything over like,
Springs.
Disney Springs, Flamingo Crossing, some
okay.
of the Bonnet Creeks.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of surrounding good neighbor hotels. We shared our love for the Flamingo Crossing area plenty of times.
100%.
And what would you say are your biggest advantages staying over at Flamingo Crossing? And they don't have to necessarily be an advantage over an on-property Disney resort.
Well, it is,
but there's a lot of
price.
advantages. Yeah.
And
Big
a lot
time
of
price.
times, depending on which one you stay in, you get free breakfast, and they have Disney waffles.
Yeah. And we're
Mickey
Rhonda
waffles.
says we're talking breakfast.
Like breakfast.
This isn't your continental
correct
stale
waffles,
bagels
eggs,
and maybe a little
bacon,
bacon
sausage. Like
home too. I love those breakfast bowls.
Yeah.
And they have those breakfast sandwiches.
Mhm.
You get a little hot sauce packet of Texas Pete's, and you heat up the sausage bowl's like ready to go. You take off that little film on top. You put a little hot sauce on there.
Okay.
Delicious. What are some of the other advantages as far as the rooms go,
Well,
per se?
sometimes the rooms are much bigger than your normal Disney, and not for nothing, it's probably a 5, maybe 10-minute drive.
Yeah.
And then you're right there at Coronado.
Yeah.
And then you're right near Animal Kingdom. You're right down the road from Epcot, and then Hollywood, and then you've got your furthest, which is Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
So,
and when Rhonda talks about room size, it's not just size of the room in general as much as it is the fact that many of these, especially at Town Place Suites, their standard room with 2 queen beds and a couch sleeps 6.
right.
It's very hard to find something that sleeps 6 at Disney without getting way up in there into the 2
Yep.
bedrooms or so.
Yep.
They even have a 2-bedroom at Town Place Suites, which I believe sleeps 8. They're all going to have much larger in the kitchen department. Town Place Suites with a full kitchen.
Right.
A lot of the other surrounding ones have often a much larger fridge,
That's
freezer,
amazing.
larger microwave, a dishwasher. So if this is an extended vacation where you want to enjoy cooking a meal or having breakfast in your room, a nice hot breakfast or something, you can. And the pricing seriously is so good. And if you do like we do, often you may pay a little bit more than going direct through the hotel, but we like to go through hotels.com.
Yeah.
Not only do you earn those nights like we were talking about earlier, a lot of them, which is important for us because we travel often, you pay at property. There
Right.
is no down payment. There is no, pay in full or anything ahead of time. So you can save up your money. You can pay when you get on property. One thing to note, most of them will not take cash if you book through a third
Yeah.
party. So you do want to go ahead and use a debit card, or you potentially could buy like a Visa gift card with cash if you happen to have it and you're
Yep.
saving up along the way, and use that. Why not? It's not Disney,
Correct.
so budget aside, maybe size of room aside, if you have that family of 4, you're not too worried about making meals inside of your room. You don't need a microwave, just say,
Right.
or a larger fridge. Nothing beats the Disney bubble, and nothing beats being on property and Disney transportation
agree.
right by your side, and cast members and activities by the pool, and fires at night, roasting s'mores, and watching movies under the stars.
I'm
Those
so
are major
excited to go to
advantages.
Disney now.
I am so pumped. So pumped. Very excited about this weekend stay at the Wyndham Garden.
Yeah.
Very, very excited for Coronado Springs at the end of the month. All right, we have one last question. I did not plan this when I split these questions in half because we have another 12 or 13 questions for the next episode. This is from our good, wonderful former cast member friend, Carson Adams, who is now over at the, World Marriott. We need to make a time to go over there and see her. She said, what is the best interaction you've had while at the parks with other guests, fans, or cast members, or a top memorable moment? First of all, Carson, many of them involved you.
I just started to say
Our adopted daughter.
That would be you when we met you, and
Well, and
how
many of them,
that relationship started.
Yeah, and I'll never just forget, when we'd visit Three Bridges and we'd know she was working, and she'd run out and give us a big hug, and it was always just very warming, and she'd stop by the table when she could, and we'd catch up with her and find out what's going on in her life, and she was watching the girls grow up.
Yep.
What are some of your other either just guests in general in the parks?
I've always said Tony is my favorite
Yeah.
too.
That was one of my favorite moments.
I mean, it was amazing. We were, and it's just so funny how we just do things, and Minnie and Mickey, and I think it was Minnie and Mickey, correct?
I think it was just Minnie at that time.
But either way, there was a character, and we could meet him, and we were like, oh, there's only like a 15-minute wait. Why don't we do it? We haven't done this in a while. And it's just so funny how sometimes we're like, we just randomly go, oh, we haven't done this, or, you know, we haven't done that. Let's do this. And so we just get in line and we're standing there and, you know, we're always talking and we're always whatever, even if it's with ourselves or just with other people.
We were with Kat and Michael at
I
that
just heard
time.
say if we have friends, you know. So we were, and all of a sudden, and she's wearing a mask, so it was hard to see. And this is when we were allowed, to wear them. You didn't have to wear them outside.
Yeah.
But as soon as you went inside, you had to. So Jeremy actually at this point put his on, and I was like, all right, well, y'all both have them on. I'm gonna hang out for a little bit until I have to. And she was super sweet, and we all start talking, and she's like, I listened to your podcast. And I was like, oh my God, what? Like, it's not like we knew who she was. We didn't like go and introduce ourselves, and just it was the most amazing that I just was like, I mean, I couldn't stop talking about it for a while because I just was blown away and that's where I just am like, this is why we do it. This is why we do it.
Well, and what was even cooler is, you know, I mean, that moment passed and it was so neat to meet her and all. And then we would go do, you know, our first annual Main Street 16 Challenge weekend, and she signs up for the scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
And that's where we really started to spark our friendship. And now, you know, we're linked in friends and family. So a lot of times I'll go in. This just happened the other weekend. And I just go in. I'm like, let me look at our plans. I'm like, oh, we have Epcot today. Tony has Epcot too. And I'll text her and be like, we're going to see you in Epcot Saturday. And she's like, yep, I'll be there.
So cool.
And so I just, that interaction has been amazing. Heidi, the other weekend that we mentioned, I believe last episode,
yes,
wonderful listener who found us in Epcot and came up to talk to us, was absolutely awesome. It was so great to meet her. Anytime a listener comes up, we absolutely love it. So please, if you see us, come say hello. Aaron, of course, we've had so many wonderful interactions with Aaron.
Yes.
Patty up in Kronos Club.
Yes.
Is the absolute best. If you get a chance and you are in Kronos Club and Patty's working, she is so sweet, super wonderful. We've talked about Alex, who gave you and the girls those free desserts so many years ago at All Star Movies.
That was super cool. That came up recently on my memories.
Oh, the memory did? Yeah. There's just been so many wonderful interactions. Top memorable moment still will always go back to Kaylin at 18 months old meeting Mickey Mouse for the first time. I know we've told that story a million times. We're Rhonda's parents there, my parents there, everybody's in tears.
Yep.
I thought taking a child at 18 months was not a good idea. She was never going to remember it. She doesn't. I will never forget that moment. And I am so thankful we took her at 18 months. It was just the absolute best. So we could do an entire episode on our favorite interactions and our favorite moments.
Oh, yeah.
But those are definitely some of the ones that are up there. Yeah.
Speaking of fun and memorable moments.
Yes.
Our Main Street 16 is coming up. And we had some great memorable moments meeting Chuck and Amy, where they now live 50 minutes door to door from my parents.
Yeah. How crazy is that?
My parents have moved to Alabama. I was 42 years old and only lived, give or take, 20 minutes from my parents. I now live about 8 hours.
Yep.
Thank God Amy has a room for me.
Yes.
I will be looking at my schedule.
We'll be using it often.
Yes. But yeah, and that was great because last year when we did our Main Street 16, we met them and we have joined and we are, I mean, they're great friends, love them. But we are having another Main Street 16 this year.
We are. Yeah. February 2nd
not
to
this
5th.
year.
Well, 2023, February 2nd to 5th. We are just shy of 2 months.
Wow.
We are full steam ahead. We really, really need your guys' support. We do have room blocks at the Wyndham Lake Buena Vista in the tower. They're up to 40% off the normal rate, along with a half-priced resort fee. We are having a wonderful Friday event, which is going to include a trivia contest with prizes. It is going to include a live podcast recording with ourselves and Scott and Michelle Atwood of the Main Street Mouse. We're going to have a special guest host that we are working on announcing very soon, I hope. Saturday is the 16 ride challenge. We're going to 4 parks, 4 rides in each park. We have not selected the ride yet. It's all part of our selection committee and process.
Yep.
We're going to do that right after the new year. We have currently almost about 20 teams signed up. Why would we do all this crazy stuff, Rhonda? What is this to benefit?
Give Kids the World, which is amazing, and it just gives a kid that is unfortunately with cancer or with a unfortunate disability that they can have a wish. And oh my gosh, it's amazing. And when Jeremy asks for support, if you can't be here, if you can't, please share and tell all your friends about it, because again, we are trying to we are not making any money off this. We are totally just trying to have a great time and get to know and get new friends and stuff. But also, if you could just tell people, and maybe if they donate, and if we just are really trying to, give these kids wishes. It is so hard when I've gone and seen at Give Kids the World where they write on the stars and write on the balloons what they wish for.
That Balloon Wonderland was amazing.
And we are just trying to help these kids out.
Yeah.
So please.
And as Rhonda said, I mean, it's very cliche to be any amount helps, but it's 100% true. And if it's $5, it's $5. If it's 50, it's 50. If it simply is, I don't have $5, but I can share this to my family and friends. Please do. And there are a lot of ways. Yeah, there's a lot of ways to participate, whether it's the Friday event, it's the Saturday challenge, it's simply sharing, or it's donating. And you can find out about all of it at mainstreet16.com. That is going to wrap it up for us for right now, but we will be back with some trip reviews of not only the Wyndham Garden Lake Buena Vista, but the Blue October concert, Garden Grill, dining package for Candlelight Processional with Josh Gad. We'll then have number 15 of the Main Street Magic Community Q&A. And of course, our Christmas trip is right around the corner. We'll have a lot of content coming from that, as well as an end of year episode and a what we're looking forward to in 2023. So we've got the next couple weeks all lined up. If you want to hear all of that, you can go ahead and subscribe to Main Street Magic on your favorite podcasting platform. You're going to get those brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. And we would be very thankful, and it would be your Christmas gift to us if you could please leave us a rating and review.
Because it'll just help our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.